Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms, from camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgotten.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I'm so comfortable, bro. We get a hug. What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We have our top three here waiting on us in the booth. What a great job there to our first guest here, Brian Johnson. Man, what a fast race car you brought here this evening. I mean, you pitted like one lap after, I do believe Derek Heitman there and Clayton Hoffman. So I thought you had that long run pace. I mean, what did you need, man, to get up there? Because it seemed like you had a really good car on the long run.
Needed more tire. So I wanted to stretch it out as much as I could. That way I had a chance at Clayton and Derek, but I just didn't have enough there at the end. I got stuck in traffic, burned up my right rear a little bit. So I got within 3-4 seconds of Derek, and I just fell off a cliff. Just need a little bit more tire.
Well, you definitely had a fast ride out there. I mean, and you didn't start very close to the front. I mean, you kind of worked your way up. Kind of was a non-factor, and then you were almost like Kevin Harvick, the closer, just showed up, and what do you attribute to that? Was it a lot of practicing, or just all in all, you had a good car tonight?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Had a good car, a little bit of practice, knew what the tire was going to do on the long run. So I didn't qualify on purpose, started in the back, just rode around, let everybody else burn their stuff up, and I was able to pick them off.
Yeah, definitely a great job to you for sure. I mean, starting all the way back there in 15th place and finishing third, I think that makes you one of our biggest mover. It would make you the biggest mover if Clayton Hoffman hadn't won this race, just considering, I mean, he started back in 14th and was able to win. But still, what a excellent performance. I know you missed some races and unfortunately not in the playoffs. Of course, you are in the playoffs for the Cup Series, though, so this is going to be some valuable points for you. I mean, how do you feel momentum-wise going in to, I do believe, next week, Martinsville?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. Getting a top 5 is always good in this league. Everyone's a tough competitor in here. So, whenever you finish within the top 5 here, it's always a good night.
Well, definitely was a good night for you, man. Who can we give a shout out to after this big third place?
Yeah, shout out to the guys over at Gas and Go. Had a rocket ship, Southern Spiral Pipe. You guys up in the booth, you guys do a fantastic job, and Kenny Powell.
All righty, well, definitely. You got me grinning ear to ear saying we do a fantastic job, but you did a fantastic job grabbing that third. I was rooting for you, man. Hoping to see that 4 in victory lane, but unfortunately, but still, you got that podium. You can't take that away from you at Homestead, no less. This is a very difficult track, and we were talking about it all night about how hard it is to be, good at this racetrack, and you definitely were. Well, we appreciate your time, Brian.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All righty, that was Brian Johnson, our third place finisher. Big Al's waiting with Derek Heitman.
Hey, Derek, Big Al up in the booth. You got me? Oh, Derek. There you go.
What's up, big guy?
Hey, man. So, looks like you called it almost dead on the head here. So, looks like you brought home a P2, right?
Oh, yeah. It's pretty predictable when Clayton shows up.
So let me ask you this. So going into this week, you knew you were going to have a little bit of an uphill battle since you had not raced here before. So how do you feel about this track now? Do you like it or you hate it?
I hate this piece of crap track, to be honest with you, but it's a lot better draft package wise than than all the previous stuff we've been running. I'm glad that everybody just can't hold on to anyone, and still be fast, and it actually takes you having to save tires. But I don't know. It's just I'm probably gonna sound like a broken record every week. It's just getting into the corners on this track is a big pain in the butt.
So tell me this. I mean, you said tire conservation. That was the thing. Did you set your car up more for the long run, or were you more banking on a shorter run?
Well, I'm gonna throw a quick shout out in here. I'm gonna have to shout out Michael Conti because he came out with an original setup, and that original setup that he came out with was it was a barn burner. It was a barn burner for about 15, 20 laps, and the next thing, like I was having the problem where I was dying loose off the corners, no matter if I saved the tires, how hard, how soft I drove it. Like I ran in an open race and I was 3 seconds, in dead last, believe it or not, and still couldn't do anything. And so I messaged Conti and I said, "Hey, the car is, extremely loose off the corner, this and that, yada yada. It feels like it's just hitting a bump and coming around for no reason." And so he came out with an update last night, and Conti does a really good job of listening to feedback or how we want the car set up. So I sent him some feedback. He tightened it up for me and gave us a barn burner for the long run.
So, I mean, let me ask you this question: was the lack of cautions, did that play into your strategy at all?
Yeah, the lack of cautions definitely helped me out. Just because I don't feel like that. Mark Paget was fast. He was really fast in the short run. Matt was quick in the short run. I did everything I could to get him that stage one win. And then, Al was really fast in the short run. So not having cautions really helped just because I don't feel like I didn't really have a 10 lap or fewer car.
Man, well, you definitely. How much time you said that you didn't have a pleasurable experience, but how many laps do you think you actually realistically put in trying to get this thing where it'll be somewhat manageable?
I downloaded Motec for the first time in my life this week, so I know I ran 250 practice laps, just trying to learn what I was doing on there, and I couldn't figure it out. Clayton will laugh, but I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I was just throwing shit at it, looking at, the spring histogram, but so I know I put 250 on there. I mean, as far as the setup that Conti does, this is my second race running this setup, so I didn't really have a lot of practice on this one. I think I've ran, what's today, Thursday? I've ran four races. So, I mean, it's decent practice, but we're here.
Yeah, absolutely. We're here and in true winning fashion there with P2, but that's never bad. I mean, you definitely fought Clayton off a lot more earlier on into the race than you did the latter stage. I was kind of expecting to see a little bit more of making work for it, but so what went into that? Why'd you let him? Did he just have that much more speed?
I know he was messing with me, and before the pit stop, I know he was messing with me. He had so much pace off the corner, he could have passed me easily. He never took the inside. And so after the pit cycle went around and he caught back up to me, as soon as he made that move to the inside, I was like, well, I mean, what's the point? I mean, it's gonna be either, race him super hard and, end up wrecking him or roast my tires off and cost myself a P2. So sometimes you just gotta know, what battles to pick.
Yeah, you're wise beyond your years. Even if you just got new to this, Sim, you still been doing something for a little while. But hey, you know what? Congratulations bringing home P2. Next week we head to Martinsville. Well, a little short track with a lot of flair. What are you thinking about that one?
But hey, it's gonna be my second time there. Except, it's spent a lot of time. First time around at Martinsville in the B class, a little bit of A. So, and my thought is I should be really good at Martinsville. Hopefully, we get a car that can get off the corner without being wrecking loose. And I'll be in good shape.
All right, so here's my question to you. Since this seems to be a common theme between us, care to make a prediction?
Uh, Oh man, Martinsville's gonna be tough. I tell you what, if I run a clean race, give me a top 5. No guarantee on a podium on a short track for me, but odds are, I say probably 50% chance I finish outside the top 10 with a couple X's to my name.
I don't know why you do this because, like, I mean, I feel like you're making a deal with the devil every time you predict one of these things.
Wait, wait, who's the devil?
You.
Hey, wow. Apropos. Well, congratulations, though, Derek, on your stage 2 win and on your overall second place finish, man. Congratulations. Always a pleasure talking to you. Before we let you go, who you shouting out tonight?
And, obviously, Michael Conti and API and all the guys, that work their butts off to make these cars as fast as they are. I know that there's a lot more people, that have a lot to do with the setups that we're running here than just Michael Conti building them. I mean, Conti has a shot guy that he uses, Brandon Hastings, if you happen to ever hear of him. But
Really nice guy. I've
um,
met him before.
yeah, he's a really nice guy. I race with him on Saturday nights. I mean, as far as that goes, I got to shout out the whole EPI crew. I shout out, my man Matt for again always keeping me in the game. I'm starting to be the teacher a little bit more than the teachy with him. But that's all right. We'll whip him into shape. He's definitely became my best friend in the sim. I gotta shout out Al Kozlowski just because he sent me a Discord message begging for a shout out. Pretty good racing with Al. I gotta say this is probably the first time in weeks I've passed Al and haven't had even a 0x. So thank you, Al. Sorry about the games on the restart, but you said we were best friends, so I figured it'd be all right.
All right, man. That's awesome. Once again, congratulations to you, sir. Appreciate everything you do. It's a pleasure watching you, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks. Have a good night, guys.
That was Derek Heitman, our second place finisher. Definitely a very great performance there for him tonight. Only one that really could stand up to our next guest here, Clayton Hoffman. Man, you came from the back. I mean, you started 14th place. We're the biggest mover. You got up all the way to the lead, and you never looked back there on that last final green flag stop. I mean, you did everything about perfect out here. We even saw you running the top side. I mean, just walk us through, how that car felt tonight.
Yeah, I mean, setup was just dialed in. I mean, there's nothing really much more than that. And with this car, it's just a game of never go. You just hold back the whole run, and if you go, you die on your pace. So yeah, I just try to not go. I try to on the second stage, I just try to run the top to see if I could, but I was just bottoming out into the corners and getting tight because I had no turn because I'm having to crank the wheel because the car is just going straight towards the wall. But I want to see if I could because I knew at Vegas you could run it in 3 and 4 and be really fast for a couple laps. And I knew you could do it here, at least in fixed, but I was just bottoming out, so I couldn't really make it work. I could kind of keep pace. I could hit a couple laps, but it just wasn't something I could consistently do.
Yeah, I mean I'm definitely going to call BS on that, Clayton, because I saw you pass two people at once up there earlier in the race. So I'm gonna definitely have to call you out on that one. You were fast everywhere you were on the track. I mean, great job to you. Homestead, is this traditionally a good track for you? I mean, a lot of people find it hard to get a rhythm here, but it doesn't seem like you struggled at all.
It really comes down to just not going. When we tested here, I was really bad about just overdriving entry, and then I still have the bad habit where I just pick up the gas a little too soon in the middle of 3 and 4. But I've worked on it, gotten better at it. I wouldn't say my line's great, but I've got it decent to where I can run a pretty decent pace.
Well, definitely, congratulations for sure. I gotta ask you though, how you feel about that? I think you just took an opportunity away from someone who locked themselves into the Final Four for the Super Cup Series. I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean, kind of making sure that you're in there and no one else is in there, based on a win, unless they win at Martinsville next week.
Yeah, I mean, it just means that consistency matters for them. So, we don't have any drop weeks for the Super Cup Series. So it's not like you can point your way in with two good races and then one DNF. So, I mean, they'll just have to come out here and try to run a safe race and try to get the best finish they possibly can. It'll be interesting to see how the short tracks go, just because there's just a lot more beat and bang go around there, a lot more opportunity for lockups and spinning it off the corner. I think last time we were here at Martinsville, I think I looped it on exit of a corner like at the beginning of the race. So it'll be a it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely can't wait to see what that looks like. I mean, I know I'd say in the actual real life Cup Series, we've seen Martinsville kind of not be the best race, but I would say this next gen is gonna in the iRacing sim is gonna definitely make the show great. I mean, just considering the kind of show we had at Bristol and we didn't have the greatest show in real life, I feel like Martinsville is going to be a fun one that we should look forward to for sure, and look forward to seeing you there. Who can we give a shout out to after this big win tonight?
Yeah, big shout out to Legacy Esports, the guys over there, Reaper Speed Labs champion, Kevin with champion. Just have a bunch of great guys over there. We had fun pack testing last night at Phoenix, and I know a bunch of those guys are in contenders, so there's gonna be a lot of testing over here through the off season, as far as when it comes to end of the NASCAR regular season. So there's a lot of guys that are gonna try to get into Coke. Some guys trying to get back in, and it's gonna be I mean, pretty much the same as it is now. A lot of testing, a lot of practicing. The only difference will be we won't be kind of split up between who's running what. It'll be everybody focusing on the same goal, and we'll probably have a lot of fun doing some pack tests.
Well, I've definitely heard some rumors that you've been testing at Phoenix, so you got to be feeling pretty good about that when it comes up. Preparing for that race. You are the only one that is locked in. Well, man, thanks for your time, Clayton. Congratulations on your win, and we'll see you next week at Martinsville.
Thank you. See you then.
Alrighty, that was Clayton Hoffman, our winner here for the Hooters 200. What a race it was. I mean, man, we saw so many different leaders. I mean, Clayton only led 17 laps of this race. That leaves a whole lot of other laps that other people led. I mean, we saw Al Kozlowski up there leading. We saw Derek Heitman win stage number 2. We saw Matt DeCiani win stage number 1. I mean, that was, I think, the feature of the race tonight, Big Al. Many different leaders.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Especially in races where the finish and the points matter. So we're definitely going to have to see how this plays out. Is just one massive opportunity gone. But you got to beat the man if you want to play. But once again, appreciate our sponsors, TLC Technology Logistics Consulting, as well as the UXO. Thank you, Brian, for being the most gracious boss that a guy could have. And man, can't wait to do it again on Saturday.
So I guess we just trade off the assistant role week after week. But yeah, make sure everybody tunes in on Saturday about 9:15 is when the stream will start. The race actually starts a little bit after 9:30. We'll be back here at Homestead with a whole different cast of characters. And if you know anything about Saturday, you know that's going to be exciting. Make sure you tune in next Thursday as we tackle Martinsville. About the same time as I just mentioned for the Saturday series. That's going to be the final race. Not the final race, but the final race to lock yourself into the playoffs. Can't wait to see it, and we'll see you next time, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Big Al and Brian Britt. Thanks for your time.